I think that they should re-release more movies and just add the title Reborn at the end. Born Reborn.
Hello, Adam Ryan Donato.
Hello, welcome back to another Hard Review. I am Adam here to talk about why we shouldn't make fun of Father Stu so much. No, I'm kidding. I'm just going to make fun of Father Stu this entire time. I'm at the end of the year and I sprint with these movies. I really try to go through as many as possible so that I can boost my numbers up, and I'm going to be at my highest total of any year ever. I think I'm already past what I did last year, which last year I think it was like 131, and now I'm already at like 137. But Netflix had Father Stu, and I decided to give it a chance. Mark Wahlberg's a big star. There's a lot of people that talked about this movie, even though I don't think it made much money. I think it did, actually. I think it had a $4 million budget, and I think it made $20 million domestically. So great. And now it's going to make more money under the title Father Stu Reborn, because it was re-released with a PG-13 rating, same runtime, and I just watched it like a week ago. A few days later, I'm at the theater, and I'm watching it again in theaters this time. I really didn't notice a difference. The porn and the sex talk and the blood, everything that all happens in this movie, so I'm really confused on what they changed, because I was watching with a buddy and I was like, I'm gonna notice everything because I just recently watched the other cut. I'm the biggest Father Stu fan that anyone will ever meet, besides Mark Wahlberg, who apparently used his own money to finance this movie, which good for him. I mean, it was a success, right? And apparently he was convinced to do that by Mel Gibson, another piece of shit, because Mark Wahlberg is also a piece of shit. That's kind of the endearing thing about this movie, right? Like, clearly it's well intended. It's just a nice movie about a guy who's kind of a jerk and he tries to rehabilitate his life, you know? Yes, he does it for selfish reasons at first, but it becomes a real thing. Like, it's a very standard movie. You've seen this movie a million times before, okay? He's a wrestler. He goes to the doctor. Doctor's like, if you keep fighting, you're gonna die, or whatever. Boxer, I don't give a shit what he did. He fought people. He hit them hard, and that got paid for it. He decides to go pursue being an actor. He works in a deli, like a supermarket, and he spots this girl, and he really likes her. He looks into her, and apparently she goes to this church, so he starts going to the church, and she convinces him to dedicate his life to the church and become a priest. Cute underdog, like, yeah, well-intended story here. There's nothing, like, secretly offensive about this movie, besides the fact that, like, Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson are both in it, and their father and son, and it's really funny, actually. But they're both really good in it for what they're trying to do, which is play pieces of shit, which is what they are. Mark Wahlberg's very charismatic in this. I think he does a better job than Mel Gibson. Jackie Weaver's also in this. She is not a piece of shit, at least not to my knowledge. But yeah, it's a generally cute and sweet. I think your mom, your Christian mom, would enjoy this movie. You know, I think if they threw it on Netflix, like, I'm so happy it's there. Great, good. This is really where that needs to be. It's not, like, outwardly terrible at all. It's really, especially since he spent his own money to make the movie, it feels really genuine. It's cute. It's funny from time to time. It's really sad, obviously. But if you watch it with the lens of like, oh, this is the silly Father Stu movie, I'm just watching it because I have to, it is kind of enjoyable. The sad parts, because you're just like, oh, that's just Mark Wahlberg with a mustache. No, I'm kidding. This is really sad. Generally enjoyable movie. 3 stars for me. This is a quick one, everybody. 3 stars. Go watch Father Stu Reborn in theaters, or really don't, actually, because there's so much better stuff out in theaters right now. Like, I watched a movie recently and I gave it 4, and I was like, yeah, but I'll be remiss if people go watch this in theaters right now. Like, I can't recommend this to people because there's so much 5-star quality content out in theaters right now that telling you to go to watch a 4-star movie feels like a waste of your time. I don't know. It just felt like somewhat autobiographical. I know it's not. I know he's not a priest, but, like, you know, 2 shitty dudes going out to make a well-intended religious movie, and it wasn't too bad, and it was over 2 hours, and I didn't hate it too much. You know what I mean? Like, I had a good time. Like, I'm talking about it so negatively, and I'm like, 3 out of 5. And usually if I talk about a movie that's a 3 out of 5, I usually do talk about it in a very negative fashion. 3 out of 5 means, like, I watched it, I'm happy that I watched it, and I enjoyed it myself. You know what I mean? It's good, it has value, it's not bad. You know what I mean? So stop hating on Father Stu. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he does some things wrong, but he tries to make better of himself, and so should you, and so should I. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't watch Father Stu, actually. It's really not worth your time, but it's not the worst thing if you do. Follow me on Letterboxd, AdamRyan03. Check out some of my other videos, like my 2021 Best of the Year list. I just finally got to finish that up. Thank you guys so much. What's your favorite Mark Wahlberg performance? Mine, it's not The Happening. I know I'm an M. Night guy, but it's not The Happening. It's got to be his small role in The Departed, because he's just constantly screaming at people like me.